Hi, this is The Greatest Story Ever Played. I'm Dan.
I'm Jordan.
And today we're going to continue Life is Strange by talking about Episode 3, Chaos Theory. So, just a quick summary of the episode is Max and Chloe's investigation into Rachel Amber's disappearance lead them to break into Blackwell Academy after dark, searching for answers. It's here they discover that Rachel kept many secrets and was not the person Chloe thought she knew. Max, meanwhile, discovers that she has a new power that brings some devastating consequences. So the episode, I guess that's kind of the outlook of the episode. The episode starts off the night of episode 2. Basically, Kate's been dead, and Max gets a text from Chloe that they should sneak into Blackwell to try to get clues.
Yep.
So that's where our episode starts off. Max sneaks out of her room, and I had a quote right when we meet Chloe that wanted to go through. So I guess I'll be Chloe. Get it? Booyah! Like I'm a scary punk ghost.
More like a scary, insensitive asshole, Chloe. I watched my friend jump off a roof today. I don't think you need to prank me tonight. You always trip out on me for not being there for you, but is this how you're there for me?
I'm sorry, Max. I wasn't even thinking. I suck.
I'm not trying to be a bitch, but I'll never get the image out of my head of Kate jumping off that roof. All because my power didn't work. It didn't mean shit.
I know seeing Kate fall was horrible. I don't even know how to deal with that, so I just act like an idiot. But it's your badass power that's going to bring all of this to a close. We just need to connect the players.
And find out who really killed Kate.
What I wanted to pull out of this quote and why I wanted it there was just, this is the first time we see Max push back on Chloe at all. Like, basically through this time, Chloe's been kind of dogging on Max in the beginning, like, especially because, she ghosted her for 5 years and all of that. So Max is just cool. Episode 2, they start to kind of build some friendship more and are kind of not back where they were, but closer to it. But then you see Max being able to challenge Chloe or push back on her when Chloe's insensitive.
Yeah, there's probably more security there. Like, if I'm pushed back, she's not just going to be like, well, you left for 5 years, so see ya. Right,
it seems like shooting stuff in the junkyard kind of helped them build friendship again.
Yeah, weirdly enough.
Right.
Well, you want to jump into the key choices from this episode? The first one called it just handicap fund. So that basically, Max and Chloe were like looking in the principal's office for clues about Kate and, how she died and whatever he knows or what other people know. And we're like looking around, and we kind of open the desk and his desk, and there's a bunch of money just in an envelope. And so the choice is, do you steal the money or do you not steal the money? And this was tough for me to choose because it seemed kind of like a bribe to me. So that's kind of why I was like, yeah, let's take it. But at the same time, so far with this game, no decision is that clear. You know what I mean? So, it was difficult. Anyway, we chose to steal it, and that was the majority at a barely 51%. So 49% chose to not steal the money.
Yeah, it seems like with it being called Handicap Fund.
I didn't know that originally.
That's what the note says.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like, I don't know, is that real? That seems like the least sensitive way to raise funding that way or whatever. So I thought that was kind of like, I don't know, this seems suspicious. So if it's that, then stealing money that was shady anyway, like how you thought in there. What made you steal it? Because when I played my original playthrough, I didn't steal it.
I didn't know it was a handicap fund.
Oh, okay.
I think I missed that part. So, in hindsight, I probably wouldn't have stolen it, even on the off chance it wasn't a bribe and actually was handicap fund.
Right.
I feel pretty shitty now. I didn't know it was a handicap fund.
That's really funny.
Until just now. I stole it because I'm an ignorant douche, I guess.
That's funny. I think I didn't steal it just because I was worried about being caught. And, I guess your pros of taking it is that Chloe theoretically can pay off Frank.
Yeah.
Which is good, but yeah, I don't know. It seems like everyone else was pretty divided too, since 51 and 49.
Yeah, it's pretty even. And another thought I had too is just with all the weirdness of the principal kind of backing. I'm blanking on his name.
Prescott?
Yeah.
Nathan?
Yeah, just backing Nathan and, like, we know his dad's rich and, like,
Right.
pull strings kind of. It's like, I don't really trust that this money's, like, not from him, so we should take it.
Yeah.
So that was kind of part of it, too. But the bigger thing was it said handicap fund on it, I guess. So that's more likely what it was. I don't know.
I think it was Prescott probably. Retrospect.
Yeah.
It seems like that would be like, okay, don't like do too much with Nathan or something.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I don't know. We saw the principal like drunk earlier, like in this episode.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I don't really trust him, but yeah, I don't know. Seems divided. Jenny on Twitter wrote in and she said that she left the handicap fund at the school, so she didn't take it.
Yeah.
We have that. I guess moving on to our next decision, we have the rest of our adventure at the school, sneaking in the pool and taking the money and blowing the door up and all that fun stuff. Then we run off and we end up spending the night at Chloe's house. And we're talking to Chloe and then she dares us to kiss her. And so your option is to kiss Chloe or not kiss Chloe. And we did not kiss Chloe. And in my original playthrough, I hadn't either. For me, when that had happened in my original playthrough, I was really caught off guard. I didn't expect it at all because it's like we're just hanging out in the room and I'm like trying on clothes and then Chloe says, "Kiss me, dare you to kiss me," and I was like, "What?" And I was thinking about it and I realized that I am lame and act the way I do in video games as I have in real life before. I remembered in high school, there were times where there was girls who I would have wanted to kiss. And there was a situation similar. It was like, "I dare you to kiss me." And I'm like, "No, I feel awkward." And then don't do it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny seeing the same thing happen in the video game. I was caught off guard. And so we were in a large minority. 23% of people don't kiss Chloe, whereas 77% do. I feel like that's how I got there.
That's fair. I felt kind of similarly, too, in our playthrough.
You felt caught off guard, too?
Yeah, it's like, oh, man, I don't, like... And just even thinking through, like, the... not, like, consequences, but, like, what will this lead to? Like, will this, like, mess up their friendship? You know, like, what will happen? I kind of...
Right.
It seemed almost too risky. I don't... I think this game just made me second guess, like, every decision I'd want to make, you know?
No, totally. Yeah, I think so. And something I did notice on the second playthrough is, obviously, since I knew this was coming, I watched and I saw a lot more of the signs that ignorant me missed the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, they're flirting in the pool, or she's saying these things, or whatever. And then I was like, oh, I missed all of those because I'm dumb. So, I thought that was kind of funny. But Jenny on Twitter, she said that she did kiss Chloe, too. So she was among the majority, like a lot of people who play this game did. So
Yeah. Yeah, if I replay this, I'd probably kiss her the second time.
I guess after this, we spend time at the Price house and talk with her mom, whose name I'm forgetting right now.
Yeah, me too. Chloe's mom.
Yeah, talking with Chloe's mom and all of that. Then David comes home after being at school because we were there.
Yeah, sneaking in the pool.
Sneaking in the pool.
He was kind of frustrated.
Yeah.
Like, makes sense.
He was upset, so a fight erupts.
Chloe, like, eggs him on. So basically, in this decision, we can either choose to, like, back up Chloe or back up David. And we backed up Chloe, like, 81% of the people did. So 19% sided with David. I still felt kind of bad doing this.
Right.
Because it seemed like Chloe and her mom... Joyce.
There we go.
Thank you. Chloe and Joyce were, like, going in on David, like... ripping him apart.
Yeah.
So it seemed unnecessary for us to even do anything. But, I mean, I'd rather side with Chloe and be a douche to him than side with David and, you know,
right.
be mean to Chloe.
Yeah. I felt bad that he got kicked out of his house, like, in that. But, yeah, it didn't make any sense to me to side with him, though. Like, Chloe's been our friend. We're reasonably committed to her at this point. Like, she's our person. And David's been nothing but shitty.
He is shitty. He also hit Chloe, so it's like, yeah,
even
you're
more.
a piece of shit.
Yeah, I guess that, because it seemed like what he got kicked out on ultimately was you were like, you had files on Rachel Amber and on Kate. Like, you're a bad man. And it's like, that is bad and creepy.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like that would be the tipping point for me. It would be like, you hit my kid, or
I know,
you
for real.
like. It seems like for some reason they were all just up to here, and then finally it was like, oh, you have this stuff, all right, fine.
Yeah.
But it seems like, you know,
Should have been couple steps before that.
Yeah, it seems like something else. Like, I would be worried about that, but I would be far more upset with, like, hitting or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. So it seemed a little goofy, but I'm surprised that people side with David. That was more than I would have guessed.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 19%'s decently high. I guess it's because it was a relatively intense conflict. So even siding with Chloe, like, didn't exactly feel 100% right either. So I could see how someone might have sided with David.
Yeah.
Just because he was getting just torn apart.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't like him and whatever, but I could see how someone would do that in that circumstance. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess too, like Max's personality and even how I usually want to play is like try to keep people pretty even, like even things out. And so if David feels like you're getting ganged up on, you're like, well, I mean, like, it's bad, but it's not like that bad. Like, I could see trying to do something like that, I guess. Like, but I don't know. He's an asshole. So.
Yeah, he is, and he sucks.
Yeah.
Yep.
On to our next decision. We head to the diner to try to get more clues from Frank and Nathan, who are both there, and do that. And we end up using a lot of time travel or time powers in this, like asking people questions to be able to ask other people questions to find out information. And you end up stealing Frank's keys, and you go inside his RV.
Yeah.
His dog Pompidou runs out.
Which is such a weird name.
Yeah, it's funny. And you are given the option to either, you have a bone to distract the dog, you're given the option to either throw the bone into the street
with cars driving
by, or throw it into the side of the parking lot where he'll be safe. We are reasonable people, and we chose to keep Frank's dog safe from harm, so we threw it in the parking lot. 93% of people did that. 7% of monsters, I guess, chose to have Pompidou killed, or not killed. I think he's hurt if it happens, but throw it into traffic.
Oh my god,
that's a pretty crazy decision.
Yeah,
I think that every decision in the game before this one were pretty like gray, 50-50ish kind. I'm not sure how this one like made the cut.
Yeah, it's kind of like, well, maybe I think one thing we talked about on how it could even have been 7%. I'm sure someone out there was like, yeah, fuck this dog, and like just threw the bone in the street.
Right.
But also, like, if you're just mashing X or something, you
yeah,
might have accidentally clicked this because it was the first decision, I think.
Yeah.
So maybe that accounts for some of that percentage.
No, that's true, because even if you could rewind, I know that the first time I played, I did as like little rewinding as possible. Because I was worried I could run out of power, or if like I should stick by my decision, so I tried to do that. So I think if I would have accidentally clicked it,
I guess you could. Yeah.
Then I would maybe have stuck with it. Still, because I'm like, but yeah, I think that this is not a very. They didn't make a very good decision, I think, on this one. Like, I guess if they wanted you to like make this more of a dilemma, they should have had the dog like bite you beforehand, or like you see it like maul Warren or something. Like, earlier in the episode, Frank's dog's chasing Warren, and like biting him or something. Like, if you had had something like that, then it would have been like, all right, maybe
it's just a dog though. Like,
instead it's just like it's this dude's dog, which I don't know. So I think that was a misstep a little bit in this episode. Is this shouldn't have probably been a decision? They should have had a different decision. Yeah,
it's kind of a throwaway decision, but 7% of people thought it wasn't because they chose the opposite thing. So
right.
Whatever.
God, wasn't great for them.
Monsters. So, last decision is basically who ends up with Chloe or David's gun, Chloe or Frank. Because in the last episode, we can either choose to shoot Frank or not shoot Frank. And what if we don't shoot Frank? He ends up taking it.
Right.
So we ended up trying to shoot him because we're crazy. So 67% of people had David's gun. Or Chloe had David's gun.
Right.
So 33% Frank had David's gun. So we're in the majority there.
Yeah.
So most people must have tried to shoot Frank as well.
Yeah. I was looking into this further because I was like, how is this a decision? Like, because both times I played, I tried to shoot Frank. So I never lost the gun. But apparently, right, so it gets taken away from you. But then also, while you're in Frank's RV, you see the gun. And then you can steal it back. Or not. So then you can see it and you can say to yourself, like, well, Chloe's pretty dangerous to have a gun, so I'm just going to leave it here and act like I didn't see it. or you take it and you say, "Hey, Chloe, I got this back for you." So it's kind of funny because it's a decision for some people. For us, it wasn't, but yeah.
Interesting. I wonder what would happen if Frank had it. Like later on in the game. Like if he shoots someone or who knows.
Yeah, I thought that was a weird one for that, I guess, and how that goes. So I guess continuing kind of the big points that come up is at the end of the episode, Max has a photo from Chloe, or from Chloe's mom, from Joyce, from one of William's last days.
Yeah, which William's her
Chloe's
dad who's dead.
Chloe's dad who's dead.
Yeah.
And Max starts looking at it, and she can start to kind of hear from back then. And then she's actually able to time travel through the photo to the past on the day that William died, had a car accident.
It's crazy.
And this is nuts. Didn't see this being able to happen. And then also kind of cool that you're constrained within the photo. Like, she couldn't just, like, walk outside and go next door or something like that. Like, it's in the Price's living room. That's where you can go. And you figure out how to save William. All good and well. Cool. And it was weird being, 10-year-old Max or whatever, or 13-year-old Max. And see 13-year-old Chloe and her with her dad, and Chloe's way different.
It's so different.
Yeah, she's like a nice 13-year-old instead of like a broken 18-year-old like she is now or whatever. Like, great, save the day. And then you end up back in the current timeline. So it's as if that world fast-forwarded through.
Yeah.
And you wake up in the alternate timeline. You're a member of the Vortex Club.
Yeah, which is like, that's surprising.
Yeah, it's crazy. You're talking to Victoria. She's one of your friends. All of the other Vortex Club's people are your friend. What? Like?
Yeah, I wonder what led that to happen.
Yeah, totally wild. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I got to find out what's up with Chloe. Like, you're weirded out that you're in the Vortex Club and stuff like that, but you're like, all right, I gotta go find Chloe.
Yeah.
You get on the bus and David's the driver, which was really funny.
Yeah, like, yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck him. You run up to the Price house and William opens the door and is like, oh, Chloe's gonna be so excited to see you. Chloe, you have a guest. And Chloe rolls up in a wheelchair and you find out that she's a quadriplegic.
So fucked up.
Episode ends.
Yeah, it's so fucked up.
Yeah. That was one of those, when I played it the first time, I stood up and yelled, what the fuck, at my TV, because I was so shocked. I was like, what? No!
Yeah.
We fucked everything up.
Yeah, God. Classic. Like, oh, you do something good? No, you do something way worse, maybe.
No, right. Yeah, it's like, and also on the way there, we saw these whales that were beached. Like, they were on the beach that had died. So we still fucked up time. Like, the world's messed up, but also Chloe's messed up, which is the worst. Like, that's awful. Episode ends. So I guess some general thoughts on the game. Starting off, Kate's bunny is in your room.
Yeah.
And there's also a shrine for Kate in front of her door, like with letters and candles and stuff like that. And, oh, that was brutal. Yeah. Like, oh, it hurt so bad. You're like, oh, man.
Could have saved her.
Yeah, it just felt like, man, we fucked up. Like, it brought that back hardcore. So that was a nice gut punch to start.
Yep. Hell yeah. At least we're taking care of our bunny for her.
Right.
Yeah. God, man. Yeah, I guess one thought I had was the end of that last episode was so crazy.
Yeah.
One thing I was thinking about was like, okay, so yeah, Chloe's, I don't know, paralyzed or something, but I wonder if Max could somehow get a photo of something around the time she like became a quadriplegic, and then she like could go back in time to that photo and like fix it there. But then I feel like you just keep adding on fuck ups, and then eventually you're just like so off from the original timeline, you'd just be screwed.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never thought about that. Taking, looking at a photo from the alternate timeline and going back to then.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
That'd be wild.
Yeah, but man, yeah, that's summed up. I guess I thought connected to this one is like, yeah, I feel like every good thing we do makes something bad happen. So it's almost like you're choosing what's the lesser of the two evils a lot of times. Or like, you're like choosing the lesser of the two evils. So is it worse that Chloe's dad's dead and her mom's like unhappy and all that trauma, or is it worse that Chloe's dad's alive but she's like quadriplegic? Like I guess the quadriplegic, but I'm not really sure. It's like, that's tough. So if we have the option to stick with this timeline or go back, it's like I don't know which one's better, which one's worse.
Yeah.
It's just this kind of encapsulates that, but there's also other decisions that are smaller that lead to this too. Just crazy.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of distasteful decisions that have come through the game so far where you're like, is this really better than that? Like, I don't know. I don't feel good about either.
Yeah. So even like when we were in the diner, I think beginning of episode 2, where Kate calls us, and we have to like either answer it or hang out with Chloe, and both were like, maybe we overthought that a little bit, but it was like either Chloe's pissed at us or Kate's pissed at us. Like, what the fuck?
Right.
Stuff like that. It's just, they really do a good job of making you kind of screwed and choose.
Or helping Chloe when David busts her for the weed, and like,
yeah.
Do you stand up for her? Do you stay hidden like she wanted? Like, neither feel good.
And either way, we're like kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Either Chloe was pissed at us, or we get in trouble with David and get expelled, right?
Yeah, you can end up getting expelled.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah. Also, something that was significant in this is when we're sneaking into the school, we see Victoria trying to blackmail/seduce Jefferson, which is crazy. Like, at first she's like, oh, it'd be so great to win the Everyday Heroes contest and be in San Francisco with you, wouldn't it be? And he's kind of like putting her off. Then she's like, oh, well, I'm going to tell. If you don't take me there, I'm going to tell them that you tried to seduce me. It's just like, you fucking asshole.
Yep. So yeah, fuck Victoria.
Yeah.
But I was kind of nervous, like he'd be like into it, and be like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
Yeah.
Like, thank God.
Yeah, that would have been like, ugh.
Yeah, thank God he's not a piece of shit.
Yeah, that was like, ugh.
Yeah. I mean, my last thought was like, I fucking hate Victoria. She sucks. I kind of regret being nice to her that one time.
Yeah.
If I could go back and do that again, I'd probably be mean.
Yeah.
She just sucks all around.
Yeah, she's pretty awful.
Because she was even talking shit about Max, about us, while she was talking to Mr. Jefferson. Yeah. It was like, after we were nice to you and all that shit, like, why? Like, why are you so mean?
Yeah.
Didn't understand it.
Yeah, it just stays mean.
Yeah, she sucks.
Yeah, she's awful.
Next chance we get to be mean to her, I say we take it.
I'm down.
For sure.
I thought also with this episode, it was a nice breather after an intense episode. With the last one, with do we have to shoot Frank or not? Kate killing herself, like, it was pretty hardcore. And then this one, it was nice because we still did stuff, but it was a lot of like just getting to be friends with Chloe more and do this investigation and like stuff like that. It was kind of nice that, I mean, at the end, the quadriplegic thing, but
crazy.
Until then though, it was like much calmer and nice and like friendship building and that sort of deal, which was cool. I think it was a needed breather after like how heavy the one was before.
Yeah, I feel like this one was really fun. Like the investigation where we'd had to keep basically bothering Frank until we got his keys. Yeah. I thought that was really fun to like pour beans on him or like knock his pop over. It was just like, it was fun to see his reaction, but there being no consequences for it. It was great.
Yeah, that was fun messing. And blowing up the door. That was cool.
Oh, yeah, that was fun too.
And like looking at all the files and Chloe wanting to steal the chair.
Yeah, it's like, what?
Wait, did you already stop me from stealing it?
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, it was a fun episode. Even the end was like fun, but it was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was fun, like knowing that you could time travel more than you thought. That was really fun, realizing you're like, oh my gosh, we saved the day, and then it's like, oh no, we fucked it up. Like, what an awesome like way to end. Like if that was like a season finale for a TV show, like I'd be just talking about, I'd be ready to come back. Like it was great, and awesome for us that we can just play it right after, start right away. Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, I think overall, I really liked this episode. It was really fun. I mentioned it earlier, but I thought some of the decisions were kind of one-sided, and so I think they not lost their way, but kind of missed out on the choice decisions. I thought the first 2 episodes did a really good job, where a lot of them were like 50-50, 60-40 kind of thing. But in this one, it felt pretty like we had kind of a non-decision, and then we had killing a dog or not. Like,
Yeah.
so there were some that weren't as good. So that's my only real critique of this episode. But I think that because of it being a much needed breather and that quadriplegic reveal at the end, still an awesome episode. But I think that the kind of foundation of choices, I think they kind of missed that a little bit.
Yeah, I guess kind of by the nature of it, though, with it being a little bit more chill of an episode, the decisions can't be, like, as crazy, you know? So it's like, probably have some, like the dog one, it's like, kind of, that's like a throwaway decision. Like, you just shouldn't choose to throw the bone in the street. Like, you shouldn't do that.
Right.
Like, that's pretty straightforward. And even with, like, kissing Chloe, we were in the minority there, and that was kind of cool. Like, I don't really feel like we've been in the minority very often. At least not by a lot.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of times we're more in the majority.
Which I thought that was kind of cool. Like, oh, I guess I could see why most people would do that. So
yeah,
that was kind of cool. It being on the other side of a one-sided decision.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I guess that wraps this. So come back in 2 weeks for episode 4. In the meantime, if you have thoughts on episode 4, please send them in at TheGreatestStoryEverPlayed@gmail.com or on Facebook at facebook.com/TheGreatestStoryEverPlayed or Twitter at StoryEverPod. Also, if you like our podcast, please rate and review it on iTunes. Tell your friends about it. I think that the video game community has lots of passionate people, passionate fan bases, and have lots of interesting thoughts on games and specifically on Life is Strange. So please send them in. We'd love to dialogue with your thoughts as we go through this.
Yeah, also, if you're one of the people that threw the bone into the street, I would love to know why.
Yes.
So please send us something about that.
Yeah,
we won't judge you. We just I'm just so curious. What was a reason? If you're one of the 7% people, let us know.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see you next time.
Later.